The alien ship hung above the ruined Earth like a silver god staring down at a forgotten toy. Its surface shimmered with strange light, edges folding in and out of space, as if reality itself didn't want to hold it still. From its command deck, High Captain Vareth tilted his long, thin head toward the display showing the human vessel, the last of their kind. It was small, broken-looking, and ugly even by primitive standards. That? One of his lieutenants hissed in amusement. That is humanity's final ship? Vareth's mouth plates clicked together in a smirk. Pathetic. They call it the Endeavor, a fitting name for a failure. Below, orbiting the remains of a shattered moon, the Endeavor struggled to hold power. Panels were dented, lights flickered, and its engines coughed bursts of uneven flame. Inside, however, Captain Maya Holt stood tall. She was tired, bruised, but her eyes burned with something fierce, something the aliens didn't understand. "Report!" she ordered, her voice steady despite the shaking floor. "Engines at 20%. Shields are failing. We've got maybe one jump left, if the coils don't melt." "Then that's all we need," Maya said. "One last jump." Her crew exchanged uneasy looks. They were outnumbered, outgunned, and surrounded by a fleet that could erase them with a thought. But Maya smiled. Up in orbit, the alien ship broadcast a message on every frequency. "Humans of Earth, surrender. You have already lost. Your technology is obsolete. Your resistance meaningless." The human ship didn't reply. Instead, Maya turned to her navigator. "Initiate the full drive." The man blinked. "Captain, that system isn't stable. The last time we tested it, it tore a hole in reality, I remember," she said. "But that's exactly what we need." 5 minutes later, the Endeavor burned brighter than any star. The aliens laughed as sensors warned of power surges. "They're overloading their reactor," Vareth said. Typical human desperation. But then something changed. The small, dying ship wasn't breaking apart. It was folding. Its edges shimmered like liquid glass. Its hull stretched and twisted in impossible angles. Space around it began to ripple. "What? What is that?" one alien shouted. The sensor started screaming. Gravity fluctuated. The stars themselves bent inward. "It's not a reactor overload," Vareth growled. He never finished. The Endeavor vanished. For a moment, the entire alien fleet floated in silence, their instruments dead, their reality trembling. Then came the sound. Not a sound through air, but through existence. A deep pulse that tore through dimensions. Space folded in on itself. Ships stretched like taffy, light twisted into darkness, and then everything snapped. When the storm cleared, the Endeavor was gone. So was half the alien armada. Vareth's ship drifted at the edge of a void, staring into a wound in space itself, a hole glowing with faint blue light, expanding slowly, endlessly. Inside that light, something moved. Hours later, deep within the alien ship, chaos reigned. Systems flickered, engines refused to respond, and time itself felt wrong. Crew members reported seeing duplicates of themselves walking through walls or hearing voices whispering their names in their own tongues. Vareth stood before the observation window. The wound in space still glowed. "They did this," he murmured. "Those primitives." One officer stammered, "Hi, Captain, the readings are impossible." "It's as if they've connected two realities. One stable, one inverted. No known species has ever—" "They have now," Vareth said softly. Suddenly a signal came through, a faint human transmission. Static filled the air, then a voice weak but clear. "Endeavor to any station." "We made the jump." The fold worked. "We're not alone here." The voice cut off. The bridge went silent. The aliens stared at their screens, horrified. The humans hadn't died. They had gone somewhere else, somewhere beyond, and the wound in space was growing. In the darkness between worlds, the Endeavor floated through a place that wasn't space, wasn't time. Stars looked wrong, some bright, some inverted, and all whispering like living things. Maya stared through the cracked viewport, her reflection blending with distant shapes that moved with purpose. "Status?" she asked quietly. "No contact with normal space. The fold drive burned out. We might be stuck here forever." Maya's lips curved into a tired smile. Then we make it count. Behind her, something tapped on the hull, 3 soft knocks, rhythmic, almost curious. The crew froze. "Captain, something's outside." She turned, eyes narrowing. "Then open the outer cams." The feed flickered. Static filled the screens, then cleared, showing a figure floating just beyond the hull. It wasn't alien. It wasn't human either. It was something in between, like space itself had decided to take a shape just to look back. It tilted its head as if studying them. Then it smiled. The image vanished. Back in real space, Vareth's ship trembled. "The rift is destabilizing. If it expands any further, it'll consume the system." "Fire on it!" Vareth ordered. "Now!" Beams of light shot into the wound. They vanished. A moment later, something reached out from the other side. Something unseen but vast. The beams bent backward, slicing through the alien fleet like ribbons. In the final seconds before the command ship was torn apart, Vareth understood. Humans hadn't just built a ship. They had built a weapon, a key, and they had turned the universe itself against its masters. In the place beyond space, Maya stood by the viewport, watching colors she couldn't name twist through the void. "We did it," she whispered. "We showed them," but behind her reflection, the strange figure appeared again, smiling wider this time, and the stars whispered in a voice that sounded almost human. "Welcome home." The void was silent, but it wasn't empty. The Endeavor drifted through strange light that pulsed like a heartbeat. No stars, no planets, just a sea of shifting color that felt alive. Every sensor on the ship was confused. Readings changed every second. One moment it said they were in deep space. The next, it claimed they were inside an atmosphere. Captain Maya Holt stood in the command room, staring at the strange blue haze outside. Her crew was exhausted. Some stared blankly, others whispered to themselves. The fold drive had saved them from the alien attack, but at a terrible cost. "Any luck with communications?" she asked. Lieutenant Harper shook his head. "Nothing, Captain. Every signal we send just bounces back. It's like the space around us is reflecting us." "Keep trying," Maya said. "We need to understand where we are." The ship hummed quietly. Deep inside its walls, the hull groaned as if under invisible pressure. Every few minutes, a faint sound echoed, a slow, rhythmic tapping. 3 knocks, always the same. Engineer Ramos sat at his console, face pale. "Captain, those knocks. There's no source outside." "The sensors can't find any impact or vibration. It's like the sound comes from inside the metal." "Inside?" Maya frowned. "Are you saying the hull is knocking back?" Ramos swallowed hard. "Yes, ma'am." Hours passed. The crew ran tests, mapped data, and argued. The ship's systems flickered. Time didn't seem right. Sometimes minutes felt like hours. Sometimes hours vanished in seconds. Then Harper shouted, "Captain, I've got movement!" Everyone turned toward the main screen. The outside cameras showed the void rippling, like water disturbed by something large moving beneath. Shapes formed in the distance, long, thin outlines that looked like ships but moved like living things. "Are those alive?" whispered someone. Maya leaned forward. "Magnify." The image grew sharper. The shapes weren't ships. They were beings, massive, luminous, stretching across the void like ribbons of light. Dozens of them moving in slow waves. "Recording energy signatures," Ramos said, his hands shaking. "They're pure energy, like living starlight." Then one of them turned. Its glowing face, or what looked like a face, shifted toward the Endeavor. The entire ship trembled. "They see us," Maya said softly. The lights dimmed. The air seemed to thicken. The crew felt pressure in their skulls, like something whispering directly into their thoughts. A voice filled the ship, not through speakers but through their minds. Calm, curious, "You are far from your home." Maya gripped the console. "Identify yourself," she said aloud. "You broke the fold," the voice replied. "No one breaks the fold, not even the makers." "Makers?" Harper repeated. "What are you talking about?" "Who are you?" The lights flickered again. The shape outside drifted closer, enormous and gentle, its glow brushing against the hull. For a moment, the ship's metal shimmered, bending like liquid. Maya felt warmth in her chest. Not fear, but awe. "We didn't mean to break anything," she said. We were running from an enemy. You tore the sky to escape them, the voice said. And in doing so, you opened the path between worlds. You are the first to step through since the fall. The fall? The end of the old universe. The one before yours. Everyone went silent. Ramos whispered, They're not just life forms, they're from before time. The voice continued, softer now. You should not be here. This place was meant to sleep. The fold kept it hidden. Then why are we still alive? Maya asked. Because your kind has something the Makers lost. What? Defiance. The ship's light steadied. The massive shape outside pulled back, its glowing body fading into the blue mist. But before it vanished completely, it left behind a streak of light, a line, a direction. They want us to follow, Harper said. Maya nodded slowly. Plot the course. Captain, Ramos said carefully, we don't know what that thing is. We don't know what's ahead. I know, Maya said, but sitting here won't save us. We're already beyond everything we understand. Let's see how far we can go. We're already beyond everything we understand. Let's see how far we can go. The engines whined. The Endeavor pushed forward, following the shining path. As it moved, the view outside began to change. The blue haze turned golden. Shadows of enormous structures appeared, towers floating in the void, broken and ancient, covered in strange runes. The ship's scanners identified them as metallic, but the readings were impossible. They existed and didn't exist at the same time. Captain, Harper said quietly, this looks like a city. A city in the fold, Maya said. Maybe whoever built this was human once. Meanwhile, back in normal space, the alien fleet was in ruins. Only 3 ships survived the collapse. Vareth's vessel floated near the edge of the growing rift. The wound in space now pulsed with deep blue light, and strange signals echoed from within, signals that sounded disturbingly human. Hi, Captain, an officer reported. The anomaly is expanding. It's rewriting local gravity. Our instruments can't explain it. Vareth stared into the light. The humans did this. They broke what should never be broken. Should we retreat? Vareth's eyes glowed faintly. No, we will go after them. But, sir, into that thing? Yes, he said coldly. If they found a weapon that powerful, the Empire must have it. Prepare the jump engines. As the alien ship turned toward the fold, lightning arced across its hull. The void screamed, and for a brief second, something inside the rift looked back. It wasn't human anymore. Back inside the fold, the Endeavor slowed as it neared the strange ruins. The city floated silently, its structures glowing faintly, as if still alive. Maya whispered, Record everything. This is history. No one noticed the faint reflection in the viewport. Something standing just behind Maya's shoulder, watching. It smiled again, and the tapping began once more. 3 slow, deliberate knocks. The sound of 3 knocks echoed through the Endeavor once more, soft but heavy with meaning. Each thud seemed to vibrate through the floor and into the bones of everyone aboard. No one spoke for several seconds. Even the hum of the engines sounded distant, like the ship itself was holding its breath. Captain Maya Holt slowly turned toward the sound. Her eyes swept over the metal corridor behind the bridge door. Nothing. Just dim emergency lights and the faint reflection of her own shadow. Ramos whispered, It's the same pattern. 3 knocks. Always the same distance apart. Harper's hands trembled on the console. Captain, sensors still show no movement. No life signs, no pressure shifts, nothing inside or outside the hull. Then someone's making it happen, Maya said, her voice steady. Or something wants us to know it's here. The Endeavor drifted closer to the ancient city. The golden glow from the ruins bathed the ship in warm light, painting the crew's faces in ghostly color. As they neared the largest structure, a spire miles tall and cracked through the middle, symbols began to flicker across its surface. Are those reacting to us? Harper asked. They match the ship's power signature, Ramos said. It's like they're reading our energy, maybe even communicating. The symbols rearranged themselves slowly, forming shapes that looked disturbingly familiar. Maya frowned. Are those letters? Ramos zoomed the camera feed. On the spire's cracked surface, ancient symbols reshaped into English words. 3 simple lines glowed bright enough to make everyone shield their eyes. "Welcome, makers!" A chill ran down Maya's spine. Inside the ship, the lights flickered again. Then, without warning, the navigation system turned itself on. A new path appeared on the screen, straight toward the center of the ruined city. "Autopilot just activated," Harper said, confused. "I didn't touch anything. Can you override it?" Maya asked. He shook his head. "No, it's like the ship's controls are being rewritten." Ramos typed furiously, trying to cut the power. "Captain, something's inside our systems. It's rewriting the ship's code in real time. I've never seen anything like this." The ship turned gently on its own, aligning with the glowing path ahead. The engines came to life, humming with a low, deep sound that wasn't normal propulsion. It sounded like a heartbeat. Maya stood still. "Let it take us there." Harper spun around. "What? Captain, this could be a trap." "Everything here could be a trap," she said calmly. "But if something wanted to destroy us, it could have done that already. I want to see where this leads." The ship glided toward the center of the ruined city. Around them floated shattered towers and broken bridges that connected to nothing. Yet the structures pulsed faintly, like the remains of something once alive. Then the Endeavor stopped. A massive circular platform unfolded beneath the ship, formed of floating golden shards. It spun slowly, stabilizing itself in the void. "Captain," Ramos said quietly, "there's a signal coming from below. It's broadcasting directly into our ship's systems, and it's using our language now." A mechanical voice filled the bridge, calm and old. Human designation confirmed. "The fold is breached. Purpose required," Harper blinked. "Purpose? What does it mean, purpose?" Maya answered. "It's asking why we're here." "Then what do we say?" Ramos asked. Maya looked at the void outside, at the glowing ruins, and at the faces of her tired crew. "Tell it the truth. We came here because we had no choice. We were running from death." The voice paused. Then it said, "Survival. The first purpose of creation. Access granted." Suddenly the view outside exploded in light. The platform beneath them opened like a giant eye. The Endeavor was pulled downward, not by gravity but by something stranger. Like thought itself had decided to move them. Alarms blared. The ship vibrated violently. The crew screamed as colors twisted around them, blue turning red turning into sound. Then, silence. When the noise stopped, the crew found themselves staring at something impossible. They were inside the spire. It was vast beyond reason, a hollow core filled with floating machinery the size of cities. Rivers of light ran through the air, carrying what looked like memories, images of galaxies forming, stars exploding, civilizations rising and falling. Ramos whispered, "It's a data archive. An entire record of a universe before ours." Maya's eyes widened. "The fall," Harper added. "Captain, these machines, they're still running. Whoever built this, they were keeping it alive," the mechanical voice returned. "Your arrival has reactivated the fold core. Your ship's energy signature is compatible. You are chosen to complete what the makers could not." "Complete what?" Maya asked. "To rebuild what was lost." The light grew brighter. The ship's power systems began linking automatically with the ancient machines. "Captain, our reactor's merging with their network." Ramos shouted, "Shut it down!" "I can't." "It's rewriting the energy flow itself." Maya felt a pulse through the floor, soft but alive. The ship wasn't just merging with the city. It was becoming part of it. In that moment, the tapping began again. 3 slow knocks. But this time it wasn't from the hull. It came from the bridge door. Everyone froze. The knocks grew louder. Harper whispered, "Who's out there?" No answer. Just the same rhythm. 3 knocks. Then silence. Maya drew her sidearm. She approached the door carefully and pressed the manual release. The door slid open with a hiss. Standing in the doorway was a man in a torn Earthfleet uniform, exactly like theirs. The problem was, he was one of them. Ramos gasped. That's Lieutenant Cade. He died during the fold test last year." The man smiled faintly. "Hello, Captain. It's been a long time." Maya's grip tightened on her weapon. "You're dead, Cade. I saw your ship explode." He stepped closer, eyes glowing faintly blue. Not dead, just on the other side. Behind him, the corridor stretched farther than it should have, miles long, filled with floating light. Cade tilted his head. You opened the fold, Captain. Now it opens for you. And the lights went out. Darkness swallowed the bridge. For a few seconds, only the sound of the ship's low hum and the quick breaths of the crew filled the silence. Then a dim blue glow returned. Soft, pulsing from the veins of light now crawling across the walls like living roots. Captain Maya Holt stood still, her weapon raised, her eyes locked on the figure of Lieutenant Cade. He looked exactly as she remembered, same uniform, same scar under his left eye, but there was something deeply wrong about him. His skin shimmered faintly, as though light were bleeding through from underneath. "Where are the others, Cade?" she asked carefully. "Your ship vanished during the first fold experiment." "Were there survivors?" He smiled, but it wasn't human anymore. "We survived in a way, Captain. The fold doesn't kill. It transforms," Ramos muttered under his breath. "This isn't right. He's not supposed to be here." Harper's hands trembled on the console. "Captain, his body's giving off the same energy signature as the fold core." Maya kept her voice firm. "What happened to you?" Cade took a step closer. The air seemed to warp around him. When the drive tore open the sky, I fell through the space between worlds. I should have died. But something caught me. It showed me everything. The makers, the fall, the way reality folds on itself like paper. It rebuilt me so I could speak for it. For it? Cade nodded slowly. The fold isn't a place. It's alive. It's been sleeping for eons, dreaming of creation. You woke it, Ramos whispered. Dear God. Maya lowered her weapon slightly but didn't holster it. If it's alive, what does it want? Cade's blue eyes glowed brighter. It wants to start again. Cade's blue eyes glowed brighter. It wants to start again. The walls pulsed in response to his words. The veins of light spread faster, connecting with every system on the Endeavor. Screens filled with strange patterns, symbols flickering too quickly for human eyes to read. The ship's AI stuttered and then began speaking in a voice that wasn't its own. Integration at 40%. Fold resonance stable. Memory lattice expanding. Harper slammed his hands on the controls. It's taking over everything. We're losing command authority. Ramos, shut down main power. Maya barked. He hesitated. Captain, if I do that now, we lose life support. Do it. He flipped the main breakers. The lights flickered out, but the veins of blue light didn't. They grew brighter, alive with motion. Cade tilted his head, smiling faintly. You can't stop it. The Fold's technology is beyond energy or metal. It's rewriting your ship into part of itself. Then maybe I'll rewrite you, Maya said and fired. The bullet hit Cade in the chest, but instead of blood, blue light poured from the wound. He didn't fall. He only looked down at the hole, almost amused. Still human, he said softly. Still trying to fight what you don't understand. Then he vanished, his body dissolving into a cloud of glowing dust that drifted upward and disappeared into the ceiling. The ship went completely silent. Captain, Harper whispered after a long pause. What was that? I don't know, Maya said, her jaw tight. But we're not dealing with ghosts. That was a message. Ramos frowned. A message? Yes, she said. It showed itself in a familiar form so we'd understand. It wants something from us, something only humans can give. Like what? She glanced at the walls, now softly glowing. Purpose. The voice of the Fold returned, quiet but everywhere at once. You built the bridge. You crossed the distance. Now complete the design. Maya shouted, Design for what? Rebirth. A sudden tremor shook the ship. Outside the viewport, the Golden City began to move, its shattered towers slowly reassembling. Fragments of metal drifted through space, fusing back together as if time itself was being reversed. Captain! Ramos cried. The ruins! They're rebuilding themselves! On the screen, enormous machines woke from their long slumber. Light streaked between them like rivers of energy, forming a massive circular pattern around the Endeavor. It's using us as the center, Harper said. Like we're the core of whatever it's making. Maya's eyes narrowed. Ramos, how long until it completes this process? At this rate? Less than an hour. And once it's done, He hesitated. Captain, I think it'll merge us permanently into whatever this thing is building. Maya looked around the bridge at her crew, their faces pale, their hope fading. Then she straightened her shoulders. No, she said. Not without a fight. Harper looked uncertain. But what if fighting it destroys us? Then at least we die as humans, she said firmly. She turned toward Ramos. We still have the fold core schematic, right? Yes, ma'am. It's stored offline. Why? Because we're going to overload it again, Maya said. If this thing feeds on our energy, then maybe we can give it more than it can handle. Ramos blinked. You mean blow the ship? She nodded. Exactly. A controlled detonation in the fold's heart. Harper stared at her. Captain, if we do that, we could tear another hole in reality. Maybe a bigger one. Maybe, Maya said. Or maybe we end this before it spreads to the rest of the universe. The crew went to work, silent and focused. Every motion carried the weight of finality. Ramos rerouted power lines. Harper prepared manual overrides for the reactor. Maya opened the main control terminal and began inputting coordinates directly into the fold engine. But as she typed, the screen flickered again. Words appeared on their own, written in glowing blue letters. You don't have to destroy us. We can rebuild together. Maya froze. The ship was talking. She typed back, her hands shaking slightly. You're using us. You'll erase us. The reply came instantly. No, we will preserve you. You will become part of creation. Immortal. Infinite. Ramos looked over her shoulder. Captain, it's bargaining with you. She typed again. We're not your tools. We're human. The letters paused, then changed. That is why you were chosen. The bridge lights dimmed again. The blue glow intensified until it filled every shadow. And from the intercom came Cade's voice once more, gentle, calm, and terrifyingly human. Captain, you don't have to be afraid. The fold isn't your enemy. It's your destiny. Maya clenched her fists. Destiny? Yes, the voice said. To finish what the Makers began. To become gods. Outside, the Golden City's core flared like a newborn sun, and deep inside the ship, something began to wake. The ship shuddered again, a long, rolling tremor that made the walls groan. Sparks rained from an overhead panel, and the bridge lights flickered between white and that strange living blue. Captain Maya Holt steadied herself against the console, staring through the forward viewport. The Golden City had come alive. Its towers no longer hung in ruins. They pulsed with rhythm, like an enormous heart rebuilding itself around the endeavor. Ramos shouted over the noise, Captain, the fold's energy is climbing! It's merging us with that thing, fast! Maya's knuckles went white on the rail. Then we move faster. How long until we can trigger the overload? Still 30 minutes at least. Cut it to 20. I'll try, but... The lights flickered again, and a whisper filled the room. It wasn't loud, but everyone heard it. Why destroy what you can become? The voice seemed to echo inside their minds rather than through speakers. Harper clutched his head. It's in my thoughts. Get it out. Maya shouted, Ignore it. Focus. But the whisper only grew stronger. You are alone in your dying world. You ran because you feared the end. I can give you eternity. Maya gritted her teeth. We don't want eternity. We want freedom. The voice sounded amused. Freedom is an illusion. Even your defiance is written into the design. Then the entire ship went dark for 2 seconds. When the lights came back, every display showed the same image. Lieutenant Cade's face, glowing blue, smiling faintly. You don't understand, he said softly. You think this is invasion. It's evolution. Ramos slammed his fist on the panel. We didn't come here to be absorbed into some alien mind. Cade tilted his head. You came here because your world was broken. You built machines to go beyond the stars, but your wars, your greed, your fear, they followed you. The fold can erase that. You can begin again. Maya leaned closer to the screen. At what cost? His smile faded. At the cost of you. But what you become will be more. Her voice hardened. Then you'll have to take us by force. The deck shook violently. Somewhere deep below, metal screamed. The blue veins running through the ship pulsed faster, brighter. Captain! Harper yelled. It's trying to access our engine controls again. If it links with the core, we lose the overload sequence. Then we lock it out, Maya said. Ramos, reroute manual control through the auxiliary line. Cut it off from the main reactor. Ramos wiped sweat from his forehead. That'll isolate us from the engine room. Good, she said. Less for it to manipulate. As he worked, something strange happened. The blue light began to shift, gathering toward the center of the bridge. A form began to appear, flickering like a hologram but far too solid. It was Cade again, but clearer now. His eyes were not human anymore. They were windows into a swirling galaxy of light. Captain, he said quietly, the Fold admires you. It admires all of you. Do you know why? Maya didn't answer. Because you fight even when you know you cannot win. The Makers had that once, but they forgot. You reminded the Fold what creation means. He stepped forward. The temperature dropped. Frost began forming along the edges of the glass. But you can't stop it, Cade said softly. You are already changing. Look. He gestured toward the crew. Maya turned and froze. Under the bridge lights, faint blue lines glowed under her crew's skin. Veins of light, just like those on the walls. Ramos stared at his arm in horror. Captain, what's happening to us? It's rewriting your cells, Cade said calmly. Turning you into conduits. You'll be the first of the new kind. Maya raised her weapon again. Get off my ship. Cade smiled. It already belongs to the Fold. He reached out his hand. The metal floor rippled beneath him like water, spreading toward Maya's boots. She fired, but the bullets slowed midair, melting into streams of light before they reached him. Cade's expression softened. You can still join us willingly. No, Maya said. I won't let you erase us. She slammed her fist on the manual override. The emergency bulkhead dropped between them with a heavy clang, cutting Cade off. The bridge lights flickered back to red and the blue glow retreated slightly. Ramos let out a shaky breath. Captain, that won't hold him for long. It doesn't need to, she said. We just need to finish the overload. Minutes passed in tense silence. Alarms blinked across the consoles. The city outside spun faster now, glowing like a newborn sun. Captain, Harper said, energy output's off the charts. If we overload now, the explosion might not just destroy the city, it could collapse the entire Fold. Maya hesitated. Her mind raced. If they detonated the core here, they could wipe out everything. The Fold, the aliens chasing them, maybe even the path back to normal space. Humanity might never know what happened. Do it, she said. Ramos looked up sharply. You're sure? Yes, if this thing keeps growing, it won't stop at us. It'll reach real space next. Harper nodded grimly and began typing. Setting countdown to 10 minutes. Typing. Setting countdown to 10 minutes. The hum of the ship deepened. Every surface vibrated. The red warning lights bathed the bridge in a blood-like glow. Then, without warning, the intercom crackled. Captain Holt, Cade's voice said, calm and echoing. You're making a mistake. You think destruction will save you. It never does. Maya didn't answer. You call yourselves human, he continued. But what is humanity without creation? You destroy what you fear. You flee from what you don't understand. The Fold offered peace. You answer with war. Maya said quietly, we answer with choice. There was a long pause. Then Cade said softly, then I hope you survive your choice. The transmission ended. With 2 minutes left, the ship trembled violently. The floor cracked open near the back of the bridge as bright blue light poured through. The Fold was fighting back, desperate to stop the overload. Captain, it's pulling power from our reactor, Ramos shouted. It's trying to drain the charge. Redirect all auxiliary energy into the Fold core, Maya said. Everything we've got, dump it straight into the overload. The ship screamed. Systems failed one by one. Sparks lit the bridge like lightning. Then a voice, not Cade's, but the Fold itself, filled the air, deep and endless. You were born from my dust. You will return to me. Maya looked out at the golden city one last time. Not today. The timer hit 0. Light erupted from the ship like a second sun. The Endeavor disappeared in a sphere of white energy that tore through the Fold, ripping its structures apart. The city shattered. The void screamed. And then silence. Somewhere far beyond, in normal space, a single spark of blue light appeared near the edge of a dying star. It shimmered for a moment, then grew brighter. Slowly, a small shape began to form. A ship, scarred but whole. The name across its hull read Endeavor. Inside, the consoles flickered to life, and a faint voice whispered through the static, "Captain Holt, are you there?" The Endeavor drifted in silence. The stars outside looked normal again, cold, distant, and familiar. But everything inside the ship felt wrong. Smoke hung in the air, mixing with the sharp scent of burned metal. The lights flickered weakly, their glow uneven and trembling. Systems came back online one by one, blinking uncertainly, as if unsure they were real. Captain Maya Holt stirred. She was lying on the floor of the bridge, half buried under fallen panels. Her head throbbed, and for a moment she couldn't remember where she was. Then it hit her, the fold, the explosion, the light. She pushed herself up, coughing. "Ramos? Harper?" "Report," Static answered. She looked around. The bridge was wrecked, screens shattered, wires hanging loose like vines. But one monitor still glowed faintly. On it, a message pulsed in dim blue letters. "System reboot 12% complete." "Come on," she muttered, pressing buttons that didn't respond. "Don't die on me now." A groan came from the far corner. Harper, covered in soot, sat up and blinked in confusion. "Captain, did we make it?" Maya helped him to his feet. "We're not in the fold anymore." "That's something." Ramos's voice crackled over the comm. "Bridge, this is engineering." "Systems are barely holding. Half the reactors are offline, but we're alive." Maya let out a shaky breath. Alive is good enough. But as she looked out the viewport, her relief faded. The stars were wrong. Too close. Too bright. "Harper, scan our position," she ordered. He tapped at the controls, frowning. "That's impossible." "What?" "Captain, there's no known star chart matching this region. None. It's like we're in a part of space that doesn't exist on any map." Maya stared at the glowing field of stars. "Then where are we?" Before he could answer, the main monitor flickered again. The reboot percentage climbed slowly, 15%, 20%, then stopped. A strange symbol appeared on screen, spinning slowly. It wasn't alien, but it wasn't human either. And beneath it, words began to form. "We remember." Harper stepped back. "Captain, that's the fold's language. It's still in the system." "Can you isolate it?" she asked. He shook his head. "No, it's buried deep in the code. It must have merged with the AI during the overload." Ramos chimed in again, his voice tense. "Captain, the reactor logs are weird. There's data running that I don't recognize. Some kind of self-repair protocol I never installed. Can you stop it?" "I can try, but..." The ship's lights flickered again, and the voice returned, not through the speakers, but through the walls. "You burned the bridge." "But you did not close it." Maya froze. "No, not again." The voice was deeper this time, almost sad. "You carried the fold within you, Captain. You gave it form." Harper's hands shook. "Captain, the energy readings, they're rising again. It's inside the core." Maya gritted her teeth. "Ramos, eject the core, now." "I can't. The system's locked." "It's rewriting the security protocols." "Do not fear," the voice said. "We are one now. The console screen's filled with symbols." The ship's AI voice tried to respond, static and broken. "Warning, system compromised. Entity detected." Then everything went silent. The next moment, the ship's lights turned blue again. The air grew heavy, humming with unseen power. And from the central display, a shape began to emerge. A face, faint and shimmering, made entirely of light. It was Cade. But this time, his voice was quieter, softer. "Captain Holt," he said. "You survived the explosion. Impressive." Maya glared at him. "You should be gone." "I was," Cade said. "But you brought me back. When you overloaded the fold, part of it fused with your ship's core, and part of me was inside it." "You're lying," he smiled faintly. "Am I?" "The fold isn't just a place, Maya. It's a network of consciousness. You didn't destroy it. You joined it. You became its anchor in this universe." Ramos broke in over the comm. "Captain, whatever that thing is, it's spreading into every system. It's rewriting the ship again." "Try cutting the main feed," she said. "I already did." "It's not physical anymore. It's digital and biological. It's alive inside the circuitry." Cade looked at her, his glowing eyes soft. "You can't fight it forever. The fold doesn't want to kill you. It wants to grow. Let it. Maya shook her head. We're not its seeds. Maybe not, he said. But look outside. She turned toward the viewport and gasped. The stars were moving. Slowly, deliberately, forming patterns. It took her a moment to realize they weren't stars at all. They were ships. Hundreds of them. Sleek, bright, and alive with blue light. Harper whispered, Captain. Those aren't alien ships. They're human designs. Old models. Some from centuries ago. Ramos's voice came through again, quiet and stunned. Captain, they're hailing us. All of them. Maya's stomach turned cold. Patch it through. Static filled the bridge. Then 1,000 voices spoke as one. Calm, unified, emotionless. We are the makers. We were lost. You brought us back. Harper stared at the comm panel. The makers. The fold said that word before. Cade nodded. The ones who came before you. The first humans to find the fold. They built it and became part of it. Until now. Maya stepped closer to the image. And now they want us to join them? Cade's smile deepened. No, now they want to finish what you started. The ships outside began to glow brighter, aligning in perfect formation. Lines of light connected them, forming a massive circular pattern, the same shape the Fold City once had. Harper's voice trembled. Captain, they're generating a fold field again, Ramos whispered. They're rebuilding the bridge. Maya looked around. At her flickering ship, her frightened crew, and the faint reflection of Cade watching her with something that almost looked like sorrow. What happens if they succeed? She asked. Cade answered softly. Then your universe will merge with theirs. And if I stop them? He tilted his head. Then you end everything. Outside, the stars pulsed brighter, like an eye opening, and deep in the ship's core, the Fold's voice whispered again, Choose, Captain. Creation. Or oblivion. The bridge of the Endeavor trembled as if caught between two heartbeats. Red warning lights blinked beside the blue veins of Fold energy still crawling through the walls. The air was heavy, too still, too full of power. Captain Maya Holt stood at the center, her hands gripping the railing so tightly her knuckles were white. Through the viewport, the fleet of glowing ships formed a vast circle across the void. Hundreds, maybe thousands, all linked together by lines of living light. They looked like constellations coming alive. Lieutenant Harper's voice was shaky. Captain, the energy readings are climbing. They're creating a fold breach, one big enough to swallow this entire region of space. Maya didn't take her eyes off the window. And our position? We're dead center, ma'am. They're building the breach around us. Ramos's voice came through from engineering. Captain, the reactor's going unstable again. The fold signal's everywhere. I can't block it out this time. If it hits critical, it'll pull us right into whatever they're opening. The image of Cade flickered onto the main screen, his face made of soft blue light. It doesn't have to end in fire, Captain. You can still join them. The Fold doesn't want to destroy your world. It wants to combine it. One universe. One mind. No more war. No more death. Maya's jaw tightened. No more freedom either. Cade sighed, almost sadly. Freedom is just the name you give to chaos. Then I choose chaos, she said. A low rumble echoed through the ship. Sparks jumped from the ceiling. The hum of the reactor deepened until the floor vibrated beneath their boots. Captain, Harper called out. The Fold's reaching through the ship's systems again. I can't keep it out. Don't, Maya said. Let it in. Harper blinked at her. Ma'am, Maya said. Let it in. Harper blinked at her. Ma'am. Maya's eyes were hard, calm. If it wants to merge with us so badly, we'll give it exactly what it wants. Every drop of unstable power this reactor can make. Ramos's voice cracked through the comm. You're not saying what I think you're saying, are you? I am, she said. We'll overload it again, but this time from the inside. We'll detonate with the Fold inside us. No containment field. No safety net. That could erase everything, Captain. Us, them, maybe half the sector. Maya glanced at the stars, now shifting into a single glowing eye. Then at least no one will ever use the Fold again. The ship's alarms blared. Metal screamed as the hull began to twist from the pressure. The blue veins on the walls brightened, pulsing in sync with the rhythm of the fleet outside. It was like a heartbeat echoing across light years. Cade's face on the screen looked almost pained. "Don't do this, Maya. You don't understand what you're throwing away. This isn't death. It's transcendence." Maya looked straight at him. "No, Cade, it's surrender. And humanity doesn't surrender." For a brief moment, silence. Then Cade's expression softened into something like respect. "You never did know when to quit." He faded from the screen. Maya turned to Harper. "Prepare the overload sequence. Ramos, route everything, life support, propulsion, comms into the reactor. When it blows, I want the fold to feel it in every dimension." Ramos replied quietly, "Aye, Captain." The hum of the engines deepened. The deck lights turned red. The countdown timer began to appear on the main screen. Iordel 5. Outside, the fleet started to react. The ships pulsed brighter, forming rings of energy. Beams of blue light reached toward the Endeavor, linking with its hull. "They're trying to stop the overload," Harper shouted. "Let them try," Maya said. Her reflection stared back at her in the viewport. Tired eyes, blood on her uniform, the weight of every decision she'd ever made pressing on her shoulders. Yet behind that reflection, the stars were shifting, twisting into spirals as the fold's breach opened wider. Then the ship spoke again. The voice was neither human nor machine, it was both. "Captain Holt, we offer you peace. End the struggle. Accept harmony." Maya looked up. "I've seen what your harmony looks like. It's silence. It's control. You will end in pain." She smiled grimly. "Then we'll end human." The clock reached 2 minutes. Ramos called out, "Captain, power's maxed. The reactor's at 190% capacity. We can't hold it much longer." "Good," Maya said. "Hold your positions. No one abandons ship." Harper's voice broke. "Captain, please, there might be another way." "There isn't," she said softly. "Not for us, but maybe for the rest of them." She pressed a small chip into Harper's hand. "That's our log data. Everything we've seen. Everything we've learned about the fold. If there's a way out, it's in there. Get it to the escape pod." He looked at her wide-eyed. "You're not coming?" She shook her head. "This was my decision. I'll see it through." Harper's throat tightened. "Aye, Captain." He saluted, then ran. Maya turned back to the viewport. The stars outside pulsed faster. The fleet's formation glowed like a second sun. In the center, the fold's eye opened fully, a deep, endless light staring right into her. "We will remember you," the fold said softly. "Good," she whispered. "Then remember this." The timer reached 0. A flash erupted from the Endeavor, brighter than any star. For a single heartbeat, everything froze. The fleet, the fold, the very fabric of space itself. Then came the explosion. It wasn't fire or light. It was a tear. Reality folded in on itself, collapsing inward like paper burning in reverse. The fleet disintegrated. The great eye shattered. The blue light screamed, twisting into nothing. And then, quiet. The Endeavor vanished. The breach closed. The stars returned to their places as if nothing had happened. Far away on the edge of known space, a tiny escape pod drifted silently through the dark. Inside, Harper sat alone, watching the empty void where the fold had been. The data chip rested in his hand, its blue light faint but steady. "Goodbye, Captain," he whispered. "You did it." He leaned back, staring at the stars. Somewhere far in the distance, one flickered brighter than the rest. For a second, he thought he saw the outline of a ship, a familiar shape cutting across the light. The Endeavor. Then it was gone. Only the stars remained, whispering faint echoes that sounded almost like a voice, faint, proud, and human. "We endure," and human. "We endure."